Kanpai!
Kanpai! I was looking at the wrong thing.
Oh no.
Hello everyone and welcome to episode 63 of Kanpai Cast!
Ooh,
This
we're
episode
getting
is
so
entitled-
close to the spicy number.
Spicy. This episode is titled The Value of Merchandise. Actually, that doesn't look like how you spell it. It says merchandise.
Merchandise.
Okay, come on. Like, there's no spell checker on this thing. I mean, give me.
Right, but before we begin and we talk about merchandise in anime and all things Japan, let's first of all talk about some housekeeping. So, just to remind everyone, we have timestamps and chapters, allowing people to navigate to the sections of the show they are interested in watching. Also, have you guys seen the high-speed scrubbing feature of YouTube?
What?
Yeah, if you go to YouTube now, there's
Yeah.
and you go to a video, the new version of YouTube, if you're on that, you can, and you hover the bar, it'll say pull up for precise seeking, so you pull it up.
Oh
then
yes! Yeah!
Get a more
Like a frame by frame
precise-
sort of thing.
Yeah.
Not
that
exactly,
too.
but it's yeah.
No, but it's more specific. It's you know, it's like you get that normally on phones for a better scrubbing thing, but yeah, there you go.
It's like looking at
So, check
a
that out.
timeline in a video editor.
Yep.
Where you could see like all like the major changes.
Yeah.
What? I don't understand. what you're talking
Hover
about.
the actual progression bar,
Yeah.
and the little picture that pops up, and you'll notice it says pull up for precise seeking.
How'd you pull it up for precise?
So you drag up. Just
Oh my lord! That is nuts!
well,
Okay.
Kanpai Cast episode 60 whatever, where we blow Xeno's mind with little tiny things. But
Yeah.
still, there's chapters down below, so you can skip to different bits of the episode if you would like, rather than listen to the whole thing.
A whole new world has just opened up for our dear Xeno.
Well, again, it's just that YouTube
They
never
never
does a
tell
thing.
you,
Tell you
yeah.
anything.
We've updated everything. Would you like to know the features we've added? Because, by the way, like other things when they do that, they add like useless things I don't even care about. Every time YouTube adds features, they're good features. They just don't tell anyone they're there, and then they go, "Oh, no one
Yeah.
used our new feature. I guess nobody wants it." You shouldn't tell anyone it was there.
There is also a problem with people
Terrible.
who just completely skip, like, because I'm guilty of doing that sometimes. And they're like, "Oh, we've changed something in the YouTube Studio," and I'm like, "Yeah, but I'd never used that feature anyway, so I don't care."
But yeah, but everyone uses YouTube front end, so if there was like
That's true.
added this cool new
Yeah.
feature, right? And also, even if most people still skipped it, at least if some people were aware of it, they could then tell other people. Like, I have to keep telling Drew about features that he doesn't know exist.
Yep.
Like, well, for instance, the only reason I learned about the polls was because I saw it on the end of one Ashen's video. That was it. And then Drew uses it.
Oh yeah.
Right. Anyway,
Well, I used
used
to,
to.
but then they removed them.
then they removed them. Yeah, exactly. See, because they never told anyone was there.
Nobody ever used
Anyway.
them.
Yeah, we're currently looking for a person or people to help us out a little bit with Kanpai news. Currently, Nasuth collects all the stories himself and writes up summaries for the group, which is a process that takes hours, which could be spent working on other things. While we will continue to bring you only the highest quality news regardless, any volunteers would be showered, and bathed with love and adoration.
Indeed.
And lastly, do you like this? Do you like the video? Apparently, Nasuth's been playing with the things in the back end and had a look. 80% of the statistics say that 29% of YouTube viewers forget to like the video by the time it's over. 4 out of 5 doctors say that liking the video will do nothing for your health, and the 5th one wouldn't stop hopping on one leg long enough to answer us.
Very, very, very. It's a shame when that happens.
Hit that like button. We love it. We love it. You love it. Everyone
Right.
loves it.
So this week's episode, we're going to be talking about.
That says memorabilia.
Oh, come on, give me a break. There is no spell checker on this thing, right? What's got Nasuth deleted all my shit, and I had to rewrite it really quickly. Yeah, I'm throwing Nasuth.
Yeah, it's me. Yeah, me and Dropbox.
Anyway,
Do you know we're not going to throw people under the bus anymore.
we're gonna throw them under the
We're
truck.
going to throw them in. We're going to throw them in a truck.
Nice. I instantly
Why
saw
don't
where
you
you
be
were
fed
there.
to trap gun? Gun hungers.
Anyway, right. So the idea is that we're going to be talking about memorabilia and what we all think about memorabilia. You know, so the first question is very broadly: how do you guys feel? How do we all feel about just merchandise in general when it comes to anime-related merch? I have some lovely assets here.
You do appear to have some lovely assets there. We've got a lovely bunch of assets.
Why did that not appear? Why did that not appear, Nasuth?
I've got a lovely bunch of... You asset one first? No.
Nasuth, the assets are us. Can you turn on the assets, please?
That is weird. Where are they? There they are.
Up.
Aha!
Yeah.
Why?
There you go.
Very strange.
So you go. We've got some lovely assets here. I got one specifically for LOz. When he oh wait, that's the wrong thing.
So
when he makes his comment.
So just for the benefit, I have suggested that Xeno, what you're seeing here are some close-ups and some pictures of Xeno's collection of cool figurines that he has behind him most of the time. I'm sure they're in shot now. And I've told him what he should do as a sort of... He's got a little cool turntable as well. He should get a second camera, and every episode he should showcase a figure. But before we get on to that, with like more cool wizardry and technology, we're just doing an episode of memorabilia. So we're just going to, I assume, talk as we flick through. Was that it? We only get 5 images, do we? And 4 for this.
For now.
There's like much more for now. Just on this one.
So how do we feel about memorabilia? I do like anime memorabilia. Anime, there is so much of it. I've gone to... Well, thanks to some people, over the years, I've gone through many anime conventions and seen many shops, and I am amazed by the stuff there is, and there's so much stuff I would love to own. However, I am a bit of a weird person, mainly because I move around so much, and I have no space and no money, that I don't own anything. Like, anything. However, I always do appreciate when I go around people's houses and see their mad shelves and shelves and shelves of plastic collection. And we're just going to sit on Raftalia, because that's how much Drew likes it.
No, I'm waiting for you to say the specific thing that you always say.
I have to say best girl.
Dust collector.
No.
They're dust collectors.
Dust collector?
Dust collectors.
I was trying to stay away from it. I was going to make a comment about how these look very dusted and very good. But I thought I was going to be the bigger person, seeing as you're very ill right now, and ignore that point. But alright, yes. One of the reasons I don't collect such things is I do believe them to be dust collectors. I like things to have a purpose, or be very, very small.
See, I have a very similar feeling to that. Not necessarily the whole dust collector thing, but anime and media in general is so oversaturated that you can, if you really want to collect everything from some, or even one thing from everything that you like, you're going to end up with a huge collection. And yeah. I feel like it's less special when you can just get a whole ton of them. And it's not necessarily more special, but why is it?
Well, you've broken the web background, so
every time. I feel like it's more special. Like, if you only collect a few things that are really, really meaningful, and not just, oh, I like this, I think that character's cute, I'm gonna grab a figurine of it. That's such a shallow base reason to get a figure. I feel like a lot of companies cater towards that too.
Well, a lot of what you're saying is very consumerist. It's they are they are appealing to the demographic that will just buy into, oh yeah, we'll just get that, we'll just random tat, we'll just buy random tat, go for the random tat. And I get it, because when I just moved out, I would just buy any old random tat, and then when it was like, oh, I have no money anymore, I need to stop buying random tat and things that I actually like, as opposed to things that I would consider selling on later. I don't understand people who buy stuff only to try and sell it later on in life. Like, I don't understand. If you bought it,
it's because like a bunch of Star Wars toys made a ton of money at one point, and now everyone's like, oh, but I could buy this thing and it might be worth money in the future. And it won't be, more than likely, because now everyone does that. It's not like the Star Wars ones where they were so rare.
But I don't think that's what goes through people's heads. I really don't.
I think some people.
aren't those people mostly NRFB? For anyone else's benefit, that's never removed from box.
Oh. Yeah, okay, fair, yeah.
Wow. We're getting the terminology now. Get the real.
Yeah.
Real.
No, that's from Dexter's Laboratory.
Okay, so a good comparison might be somebody who buys a 3080, and then the instant a better one comes out, they buy that and sell their 3080 at, you know, either the same price or slightly less.
No, so I think a comparison is like they buy. Oh god, I'm trying to think. Well, basically, yeah, they buy a model from. The problem is with the 3080 is it has functionality.
Okay, yeah, well,
right. And it might be a case of it just expires in terms of functionality. You know, we're talking about. Okay, here's an example. They'll buy the first 12 volumes of Chainsaw Man, and then when an omnibus of Chainsaw Man comes out, they'll just buy the omnibus of Chainsaw Man. It's like, but
you
already own the first 12. You already own the volumes. Why are you buying it again? Yeah. Again, it was like me the other day. I was talking to LOz. It's like, oh, should I buy Nier Automata on the Switch? But you already own it on the PC. I'm like, yeah, you're right.
But but you already know the answers. What were some of the reasonings you gave me?
Portability.
I want to
it with
support
you
the
on
official release. Oh, but I could play it in this different format. Oh, but this one's different because it's portable.
Yeah, see, I can see something with the omnibus being it's easier to keep track of it. Instead of 12 individual novels that you all have to keep together as a set, you've just got this one book now.
It feels to me much like what I was saying to LOz with Nier Automata for the Switch. That's just trying to justify it. Like, you know, oh, here's some like shambles reasoning for it and things like that. I do feel that there can be some great amounts of joy that can be had from memorabilia and things like this, but I think it has to be worthwhile. It really has to be something that you want. Things like the Raftalia, which I think is... Oh no, it's not that one, it's that one. You know, I absolutely love this statue. I think it's gorgeous, right? And it's currently on the actual display, but unfortunately the turntable makes so much noise. It's just like, oh dear god, I need to get a quieter turntable. But yeah, I think it's gorgeous. You know, the amount of detail that's in it and everything. I don't really have much more to say to that. So I think there are some people out there that are, you know, when they collect stuff, they want to do it to properly have a collection that means something to them. There are some people out there that will just collect fucking anything. There are hoarders. Yeah. Well, not necessarily hoarders, because like hoarders, I feel, is a term that massively impacts your way of life.
Yeah. It has to be actually detrimental.
Yeah, but I'm talking about people that have like
obsessive collectors.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, oh, yeah. And then there are people that are like, I respect it, ain't gonna do it. Like you guys.
I have a little bit of memorabilia. Not really anime related.
But, yeah. I'd like to.
But no, I mean, but still, I mean, it's like there's nothing wrong with any one side of it. The only problem is when it's like, you know, detrimental to you because you're spending maybe too much money on something that you can't really afford.
Yeah.
Oh well, yeah. That goes for just about everything. When you try and purchase things outside your means, that's just.
Or if you're buying so much that you have no living space.
Yeah. So, yeah, there you go. So I think that pretty much sums up a clear picture of where we all stand with memorabilia.
We've held off this next question as long as we can.
No. There's right. So the next question I have is, how do you feel about more adult memorabilia?
I like to buy friends as jokes. And then he goes and buys the more lewd one anyway, without telling me.
I mean...
Shut up.
I mean, there's a long and proud history of nudity in art, but
Yeah.
and there's even an argument that says, to be made that pornography can be art.
Right.
So I'm intellectually okay with it. I don't think I would ever personally own one, or at least not one that I would put on public display.
Wait, we're just talking what? We're on general here. We're talking about general adult art, not specifics here. What do you mean own one?
Oh, on an anime figure, a piece of anime memorabilia, like a Dakimakura or a figurine, or anything like that.
Next question, Nasuth. Read the thing.
Oh, what are your thoughts on Dakimakuras?
No.
Oh well,
No, we'll get to that in a minute. But my point is, right. So,
right, how do I feel about adult memorabilia? I think it's perfectly fine as long as it is not depicting anything that would be illegal. As long as it falls in those realms and people don't. It's also kept to the privacy of your own home, and you don't just display something randomly. That's fine. That's
a much more eloquent way of saying what I wanted to say.
But would you own any?
Ooh, would I own any?
That's even if it's the privacy of your own home or your weird sex dungeon.
Well, if I had a weird sex dungeon, I'd definitely own some.
Yeah.
Things. I mean, if you've got the ambience of your weird sex dungeon. But if not, no. And I don't think I'm going to ever get the space to own. With this property market the way it is now, I don't think I'm ever going to have a weird sex dungeon, sadly. So, yeah, we'll just leave it at that.
Build it yourself underground. Go out in your yard.
Well, you'd have to have a license for that. You'd have to have a license for that.
Damn licenses.
You have a license for that.
Sex dungeon?
Damn licenses. Alright.
But, regardless, I mean, I think... Yeah, it's fine if it's tasteful, right? If it's full-blown, pervy on display, then why? I have seen I like to watch these videos on YouTube of people putting models together, right? A lot of them are model kits from G Studio and things like this, of various different gun models and stuff. But I have discovered this one channel, I can't remember its name because I think it is specifically in Japanese, where he actually puts together these resin kits that don't easily bolt together or anything like this, and he properly paints them and everything. And the first resin kit I actually watched being put together was of the VTuber. I can't ever remember their name. It's the shark one.
Oh,
yeah. And they were doing such a really good job of it. They were putting it together. They put in these neodymium magnets in the joints so that they could easily take apart the different pieces so that they could paint it easily. They were using special tape to do highlights and lines and all sorts. It was really, really good. And they come up with one of these videos once every couple of months or something. It's a very well put together highlights video for it. The only thing I couldn't truly comprehend in this statue is why the character had to have a camel toe. I was just... Huh? That's in the sculpt. I was just like...
Okay, to play devil's advocate for a moment, even though you personally can't really get behind that, is there anything wrong with somebody letting their freak flag fly? As long as they're not, as long as, like LOz said, as long as it's not depicting anything illegal, is there really anything wrong with that?
No, I don't think there is. It certainly made me feel uncomfortable.
My only question is that the character they're playing, I don't know what the established age is, but I would have considered them a child.
Ah.
Yeah.
Well, then, yeah.
See, that's the problem. I know the voice actress is certainly not a child, but the physique of the character
and the attitude sort of way the character is. What's the term? I think the term is coded.
Sure.
Is the term for it. It's like that they will talk in very childish way, their childish behaviour, childish height. It just seems very like a small child.
Right.
So
yeah.
that I'm a bit about. I mean, I don't know, because they might have like an official age of what the character is supposed to be. It's just a adult being childish, and yes, we know the voice actress is an adult. So.
Well, it's like in it's Kana in Kobayashi's Dragon Maid. Even though she's like this thousands of years old dragon, she kind of looks and acts like a child. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's that sort of thing, but they don't really do to Kana what Xeno's described. Yeah, that's that's a bridge too far.
So this is in part what I mean. I think if it's a case of, if it's on display in the privacy of your own home,
and it's depicting something legal. Because you could have a piece of artwork which depicts an illegal act.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I know. Some people have sent me some very shock factor stuff in terms of anime figurines, just to try and get my reaction. And sometimes my reaction is exactly what they're expecting it to be, but still, these figurines are not something that I would ever want a family member to see on display. And that I think that is pretty much. But yeah, aside from that, there's nothing wrong with it. So I don't know if you guys have anything you want to follow up.
No, well, let's move on to a more specific, very common one, which is the next question of something.
Okay.
I mean, obviously, I think the question before, we'd probably be thinking about some sort of plastic model, as the example you just gave, but let's go for a more and uniquely Japanese thing.
Oh god, please tell me you have the one that Thaylien made of
No, I don't.
Oh,
No.
that'd be perfect to put that up on screen. I think we should pause and get it. Let's pause and get it. That is the perfect.
Nasuth, do you have it?
Oh gosh, not directly to hand.
Okay, fine, let's pause and get it. Right, and then I hit the magic button. Da-da! Oh, for fuck's sake.
Why does that...
That's why I can't have nice things.
No, it is on.
It's why I can't have... It's why can't I have nice things, Nasuth? Why'd you
There it
break it,
is.
Nasuth?
Right, so what is Dakimakura?
So a Dakimakura is a body pillow that I think it's just the pillow itself. It's not actually the cover, but you can get these specific covers, which for everyone else's benefit right now, this does not actually physically exist.
This can be yours. Welcome to the
first.
Welcome to the first piece of Kanpai Cast merchandise.
Yeah. Oh, we'd make it. We'd totally make it.
Okay, if we make this, I want the beard done properly.
Of course. This is just a test. It's a test one.
It's just a prototype. Anyway.
Clearly, we haven't been able to add in all your muscles on the other one yet.
Clearly. All my muscular physique.
Yeah, exactly.
Needs a 16-pack.
Oh, God. Anyway. So these body pillows, people will put...
I don't know, sorry to interrupt, but we don't know the history of these, do we? And we probably should know where these came from. Just Japan doing Japan. Who knows what mystery they came in? Japan looking around saying, like, right, what else can I put scantily clad anime people on?
No, I think what's called these like sort of long pillows have existed for a long time, because I remember as a kid, my one of my cousins, she had a pillow like this.
Yeah.
Right, that she could just hold on to, right, while she slept. I don't know. I think people just find it more comfortable to sleep while holding something, right?
I have one myself. I love it. I love it. Not obviously not with a special cover like this, but not one that I'll admit to. No, I don't actually have one.
I'm not saying anything, but anyway.
Xeno has one. I bought him one.
Yep. Anyway, but the big thing for me is with these body pillows. I don't know about you guys, but I couldn't really bring myself to use one in the fear of making it smell.
Ah!
You know washing machines exist, right?
I do know washing machines exist, but still, like...
Also, you fell over yourself on that one. I'm like, making it smell of/with what?
Yeah, that's what I'm...
Wink.
Just body odor. Just flat out body odor.
Well, you know, if you shower enough, you know, it's just, everything gets dirty, but, you know.
Well, no, I mean...
But
I'm
Febreze exists, you know.
Yeah. I have heard this Febreze stuff is a wonder drug or something.
It is amazing.
However, I just can't stop sneezing whenever my friend used it. I was just like, oh my god, stop. Anyway, so what do you guys think of Dakimakura?
Well, once again, I'll say if it's something people enjoy and they've got it at the privacy of their own home, and I do know that the way most of these normally work is they're double-sided, and here's the good example we put on screen. Normally there is a more tasteful side and then the not safe for work side. So even if you wanted to own one of these, you could still have it twisted one way so that people go like, oh, you've got that. It's like, yeah, but at least they'd be like, oh, but I can guess what's on the other side. It's like, yeah. So it is nice, but if people enjoy it, some people might enjoy. As you say, people can have it to sleep with. As in it's the size of the pillow. Normally is something that people enjoy using. If they use it for that, that's fine. And if they want to put Thomas the Tank Engine on it, that's down to them. And I bet there probably is one of those. No, I don't need links. Thank you very much. And so yeah, if people like,
yeah, he does.
If there isn't, if there wasn't, there is now.
So once again, it's kind of thing of like, as long as it's not depicting something illegal, or is there within the realms of the law, then people can do what they want. That's what I say.
Loz, are you being a diesel?
I'm not being a diesel. I'm being a Turn A Gundam. Apparently.
Oh my god.
Again,
Right.
I've owned one of these long pillow forms. They are really comfortable to sleep with. I guess I can see that somebody might, if they're gonna hug one of those anyway, they might want to hug a character that they like. It's a little weird to me, but whatever floats your boat, as long as you're not hurting anyone. It's fine.
Right, now Xeno already I already bought one for Xeno. Which one did I buy for you, Xeno?
It has to be Ria's Kremri, right?
It is, and I bought him a tasteful one. It's not a full body one; it's kind of a smaller one. It's kind of shorter. But then he went back on his own and went and bought the one of culture, the cultured version is what he bought.
Oh my goodness!
Nice save. But but again, like as I was saying earlier, I've tried to
snuggle,
have it. Yeah, just have it while sleeping, sort of thing. I just can't do it. I just feel this is just gonna get weird and gross and sweaty and disgusting, and I'd rather not. I
mean, it's not really gonna. To me, it doesn't really get any grosser and sweatier than the pillow that's under your head. But I
mean, to me, that feels pretty gross and sweaty constantly.
Okay.
Loz goes, you can wash those, right?
I already stated that. I'm not going to repeat myself.
So, but yeah, okay. I mean, I think when it comes to adult stuff, I'd rather have adult memorabilia that I can that's plastic and put on a shelf to display than something like a Dakimakura. He says owning one.
Oh no! Well, sorry, that's what I was going to push you to. So obviously Xeno already has one, so you can't pick that one again. But if we were to all buy a Dakimakura thing, and the fact of it existing or not, we're all going to pick what we would like on a Dakimakura. So let's go.
Oh, that's easy. Gundam Aerial.
I also was going
What?
to pick a Gundam, but fine, fair enough. I'm just going to say anything.
Gundam Aerial.
Well, not if
Tell
you're
me, tell me I'm wrong.
not if you're following the
Tell me.
Reddit theories.
Oh, I don't give a flying fuck about the Reddit theories. You know, Gundam Aerial.
Either Roger Smith or Gendo Ikari. Yeah.
Roger Smith?
Yeah, from Big O. You know, the Batman character.
Okay. Yeah, Bruce
Wayne character. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, the O would be the Batman character persona of him.
Yeah. LOz?
Yeah, Gundam. I already said. That's what I was going to suggest.
No, which one?
Oh, no, I'd have a Zaku.
Ah, yes.
So not a Gundam at all.
Yeah,
Okay,
still,
fine.
I'd say that. It's a
He'd have a Gundam Zaku.
It's Gundam adjacent.
It's a special one that only he has.
Yeah, no, I'd have a Zaku head.
Yeah.
I don't know what that means, but okay.
Yeah.
Right. Okay then. So the next point of this is, how do you feel about brands that rely on the fear of missing out to sell their product? Case in point, Funko Pops, and to a lesser extent, Nendroids. So,
well, I hate Funko Pops to begin with, so not a great example. But I get what you mean.
Expanding it out a little bit, what I'd also like to add in, quite close to this because it's still Japanese, is Nintendo's.
Oh yeah,
Amiibos?
the little amiibos. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and those
even
more so because they can have effects in games and they're limited sometimes.
Yeah. No, I hate FOMO. I hate FOMO so much. I think it's a terrible, horrible, predatory scheme that far too many companies use in both video game and real life merchandise. Ugh.
So, but I mean, okay, so is there any point that you think FOMO is acceptable?
Oh yeah, well I mean again if the market wasn't oversaturated, it would be much more gosh, how do I put this? The more rare and special it is, the more you'd really want to get it. But it feels like to me that when they're just flooding the market with things that look essentially the same, let's face it.
What, are we talking like Funko Pop?
Yeah, and even a lot of anime characters, like we've gone over how so many of the protagonists in isekais and harem animes look exactly the same.
Yeah.
It just feels like they're just out to make a quick buck.
Yeah.
Now, at the same time, though, I do like the idea of exclusives at events and things to help drive.
Sure. Again, that has like a really good memory, a really important memory attached to it. It's not just I like this thing, they're selling it, it looks cute, I want it.
Yeah.
Sorry. It's like I only get for Warframe related thing. I've gotten the last 3 TennoCon packs, but I haven't really gotten any of the statues or anything because I don't care so much about displaying those. But these I can hang up. They look really cool. It's the pins and the badges, and it's got a really good memory attached to it. That's a relatively rare thing because it only happens once a year. Oh.
So I think one of the big problems with FOMO is you never have any sort of like understanding of what else is coming out, right? I think with, again, to a lesser extent, Nendroids, it's all right because they have a very clear, this is the stuff that we're releasing. Like they basically give you 6 months to a year for you to know in advance.
Oh yeah, I much prefer
whether
those. Yeah, definitely. You know,
right.
If you're going to give something limited, let me know in advance so I can prep, I can order it, I can make sure I guarantee mine. Yep, definitely with that sort of stuff.
Yeah. And then it's a case of, if it's popular enough, it'll get another reprint later on down the line. Case in point, I think this was the third reprint, or second reprint, but all the Konosuba Nendroids got another reprint recently, and originally I only owned Darkness, but I've now gone and bought Kazuma, Aqua, and Megamin. But you know, they give you a heads up that these things are going to happen. Funko Pops is like, oh my god, this is the only one of the Naruto Funko Pops. I think going back to the assets. Oh god, which numbers were they? So 13. So this one is number 71 in the huge ass list of Funko Pops. I don't know what number this is,
but it's,
and then this one was 181, right? And it's just like,
we put him in a slightly different pose.
Exactly. That's the whole thing. They're just gonna put him in a slightly different pose and act as if it's new and revolutionary. And I think one of the biggest problems with this, like LOz is, he's referred to. No, this might be putting words in his mouth. That's not fair.
Eh?
One of LOZ's comments about stuff that sits on shelves being dust collectors can be so apt when it comes to things like Nendroids, because you know I've seen people own these and not even
Nendroids?
take them out of the box. Sorry, not Nendroids.
Funko
Pops. They've not even taken the Funko Pops out of the box because they have so many of them that they keep them in the box just to stack them.
Yeah.
You know, so that they're more efficient in space utilization. And it's just like, well, what's the fucking point? Right? What's the point if you're going to buy these things and not even take them out?
But you can see them through the packaging. Not all of it, really. And it's in shadow
Packaging.
more than likely.
again,
and yeah.
But then again, like, you know, you take, you know, there's next to no validity in taking them out of the packaging. Whereas things like Nendroids, at least with Nendroids, you can, that's not the Nendroids. You can pose them.
Yeah.
Like, they have additional poses and things that you can put them in. You know, they've got additional accessories so you can do these things. And LOZ actually raised a really valid point to me many moons ago. How often do I actually change their poses? Right? The answer is I do it very infrequently. But when I've got a reason to move them around and things, I do, like, take the time to repose them.
But do you put them in the exact same poses, or do you put them in all new poses?
No, all new poses. Like, you can see Saitama in the middle of this picture. He's just staring up. He's actually holding a grocery bag.
Ah!
And then compare it to this image. Yeah. This was the original pose that I had him on my work desk at work. But one of my colleagues complained about me having this weird baby on my desk. So I had to take him home.
Good old super baby.
Yeah. So, oh, Drew has this weird baby on his desk and it creeps me out. I'm like, what the hell? Yeah.
I mean,
so,
again, it comes down to if that's what people are into, more power to them. I just don't understand why. It doesn't make sense to me. For stuff like Funko Pops.
You mean? Oh yeah. And again,
and
like,
even mass collecting Nendroids, it still doesn't quite. I guess I'd get one for One Punch Man. Yeah, I probably would.
When I bought this statue of 2B, I'm trying to find the big photo of her. Is it 7? Yeah, that one. She stands just shy of a foot tall, and it cost me a lot of money, but the quality of the statue is impeccable, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's all the same plastic. It's all the same type of plastic, but the way that they printed the plastic, it does genuinely look like the material of her boot leggings is different from that of her skirt and her gloves, right? They did a fantastic job of having this visual aesthetic difference.
The molding is exquisite.
It's absolutely brilliant model or statue, and you know, I'm really happy that I actually put the money into this. But you know, and yet you have some people that create these statues, like, you know, that are just, you know, oh, here's just models like Funko Pops that are just like worth next to nothing, and you know, they look like next to nothing.
Very low detail, yeah. It's not,
Yeah.
like, you know, there's a long tradition of taking a character in anime and chipifying them, right? But Funko Pops go like beyond that, in my opinion. Like there's even less detail to them than just your normal chibi character. Yeah.
We got a Funko Pop to go on screen again.
Oh yeah, we had.
And
them
I think the one you've got is actually. Oh yeah, there you go. Yeah. It's just like.
Yeah, that's
Obviously,
Naruto because he's got hair and whiskers. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think for a while
orange
the reason what. Okay, let's do a quick thing. Funko Pop. What's the appeal? Now, obviously, I'm not going to say anyone. As long as it's legal, you can spend your hard-earned money however you wish. However, I would like to know what people are thinking.
I think it's supposed to be cute, because things with big heads are cute, and big eyes are very cute, you know?
I mean, I've always heard them described as millennial Beanie Babies.
Yeah.
Yep. It's just a collectible thing. Like when we were kids, you know, we played Pogs. Right? Did you guys have?
Oh yeah,
right.
Pogs, yeah.
But it was all about the slammers. The slammers were the coolest thing, you know.
But still, like, you know, the number of, like, I remember in my school, no one would play against each other because no one wanted to lose their
balls.
The whole thing was that you're supposed to trade and swap, but nobody would do that.
Yeah. No, everyone refused. Like, they'd all just spend their parents' hard-earned cash to get Pogs, and that was it. You know? And it's a slippery slope. I think it is just consumerism on the peak scale. I don't think at any point in time the people that made Funko Pops thought that these would sell nearly as much as they would. When they exploded, it was just like, oh, we've got the thing, we have found the new thing, let's milk it for all it's worth.
See, I kind of disagree a little bit, because there's been there's been research into
towards that, but it was also at the same time the reason why they did so well is because you'd be able to. It was a quick and simple thing where you could get a model of your thing that you wanted, which wasn't always available. These things were able to be pumped out really quickly. A Naruto one, a Breaking Bad one.
I know there's been a 2B one.
Of course.
Wouldn't be surprised.
You know, a Destiny one, a 2B one, anything, you know. And so it became sort of, instead of just a random model, it was the thing you wanted in a acceptable sort of. It had a bit of what's the word I'm looking for? Like it.
What is it?
So
it was valid. It was more valid. It was more authentic because it was the thing you wanted. Oh, but it's a Funko Pop. Oh, of course, Funko Pop. You know.
So the branding?
Yeah. No.
The branding itself validated.
Yes. Yeah. The combination of those two things. enabled it to be validation. Instead of just buying I wouldn't buy a random 2B figure. Oh, it's a Funko Pop.
Well, this one's stylized.
Yeah.
So kind of like the fact that I bought a 2B Nendroid.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's also
because it was both 2B and an Nendroid.
It also plays a bit into like, well, again, I'm a layman here, but my understanding of what other people have said about human psychology, where you see the big head and the big eyes, and you kind of associate it with babies. And
Ooh, really?
Yes. And there's a deep psychological human instinct to gravitate towards that for a lot of people. I hate babies, so I hate Funko Pops.
See, I like babies, but I hate Funko Pops.
Yeah, okay. I mean, like I said, it's who knows? I'm saying it. It's probably bullshit.
No, I just fucking hate Funko Pops. They're like... I mean, if I had to compare them to anything, I'd compare them to hamsters. Because they're so featureless. You know? Maybe that should be a game that we play at some point in time. Guess the Funko Pop from the face alone.
Yeah, get rid of everything else and just show. Oh my god.
Yeah. Here's a silhouette of the body and the, and here's the, this is a Funko Pop. Which Funko Pop is it? Oh,
yes,
that's right.
Funko Pop.
It's Goku.
Pikachu again. Oh man.
Yep, it's Pikachu. God damn it. So yeah, okay then. So I think we've done that.
Yep.
So the next question I had was, how do you feel about the massive counterfeit market models for models and figurines out of Japan? Where you'd buy, so you want to buy a model, but it's been out of production for months. However, eBay has loads on sale for a reasonable price, but they're all fake. So I've got an example for you, which is this one. This is from Good Smile Company, who make Nendroids. This is apparently being sold as a Tracer Nendroid. This is not what Tracer's Nendroid looks like at all. And yeah, it's just
right. But now I don't have any problem with it as long as if it visually the case looks different, so I could tell them apart. That's fine. If they are completely trying to ape the original down to confuse you, I'm not down with it. I know that basically the reason why these exist is obviously everything is made in China. Everything.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
That is slowly changing, actually, apparently, with India, Thailand. I think Malaysia is starting to edge in on these things. But most things are made in China. And that means that some of the bootlegs even share the same molds as the actual things that they're trying to copy, which is great. But what they'll do is they save money by using less high quality materials.
Yep.
And that's where the issue comes
cheaper plastics, cheaper paints, cheaper,
Yes. Xeno obviously has moved recently, and I helped him pack all of his Nendroids. He has one fake Nendroid, and I could tell. He did tell me beforehand, but you pick it up and you could feel the difference. And the problem is, because this was an old model, I think the plastic was starting to get a bit sticky.
Yeah.
Because it...
Oh, no, it's not because it's an old model, it's just because it's cheap plastic.
Yeah, but no, it's the cheap... Right, the problem with the cheap plastic is that over time, it turns into glue.
Yeah.
Is why. Yeah. So at first, you won't even notice the difference at first. You barely, if anything, it'll look the same, almost feel the same. But over time, the plastic degrades really quickly. It's just not meant to last. And so, it's a shame you don't have the actual
I'm literally just getting
You're
it.
trying to get it now. That's cool. Just to compare it again.
Yeah.
So the thing is, it's that the biggest thing is with the box. And I've seen the Nendoroid boxes. For instance, we saw the Funko Pop boxes earlier. Now, if say for instance this was put in it said Funko Pop because they print whatever they want the boxes. They're selling illegal stuff. They're going to put whatever they want, and they try and sell it to you as the actual thing that you're looking for, then I have a problem. If they, it's quite close, but it's quite obvious you're not looking at the real thing here. And if you're trying to save some money, I mean, if people want to buy from, go for it. It doesn't. The problem is it doesn't support the official release. It goes straight into the pocket of people.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
So the one on the right is the laziest version of trying to rip off an Android I have seen.
There's been, I think
time.
there's better ones. Like the copy you actually had. So if people don't know, the Nendoroid's on the left there. And my understanding is the number, which is 3 digits there, but they do go into 4 digits, is which Nendoroid that is. Each Nendoroid has its own number. They might reprint 730, for instance, but that 730 will always be Tracer. Now, I swear the box you had for your fake Nendoroid actually has its number on it.
Yeah, that's
wow.
So it did. So we destroyed it. So yeah, I mean, at least with this one, for instance, I don't mind this one as much because though I would think that that's Tracer. It says Overwatch in the corner. It's got Overwatch logo. At least if I knew what I was looking for with Nendoroids, I'd be like, wait, where's the number? The number is important, but at the same time, that could easily fool people who don't know what they're looking for.
I've got another brilliant one here. Keep talking, and I'll grab it for you now.
How do you feel, Nasuth?
Another brilliant.
Well, there's a couple channels that I watch that cover a lot of bootleg stuff. Ashens doesn't do it quite as much anymore, although he does still every now and then. He
does random stuff.
Yeah, he just does kind of whatever. But there was another channel that has a regular bit they do.
If you don't know why with Ashens it's quite hit and miss, it's because he only does really what he's able to find at Poundland and things.
Yes,
There was a point, I think Poundland closed or something, and it was a sad day for us all. So that's why he was hard for him to find things.
But yeah, I love going back and watching his old video game rip-off stuff, the pop stations that are just like, what? Who okayed this? Who said you could take an Xbox mold and just put a little random chip in there? Yeah.
So this box is a hell of a lot similar.
Yeah.
To
I see this. This is where I start having problems. This is just terrible. This is actively really trying to confuse you into buying the fake product.
Yeah.
Yeah. Some of them
yeah, that's disgusting.
They go so much further. It'll be so similar to the original print and everything, but you'll find that the edges of the box are not folded properly. So the corners.
Well, this one's missing a little logo or something. Yeah.
Yeah. So they'll do all sorts of weird and wonderful shit like this. The plastic is often cheaper, as said by LOz.
But the problem is you wouldn't be able to feel that until you get the product itself out. You've normally had to buy it by that point, especially if you're opening the box. I'd be like, no, you can't inspect it. Get out of the box, but you'll ruin it.
So in the UK, Funko Pops sell for an inordinate amount of money. We're talking. I recently went into a local shop, and I think the cheapest I saw them for was £80, right? And the most expensive I saw was £130.
Wow.
Right? I buy them directly from Japan at about 30 quid a one.
But then you have to pay for transport, I assume.
Yeah, but that's 10 quid for however many that ships. So it's
one thing I would say, now I've seen, obviously you've got this great example here, and I know that it is you see these at conventions as well, and Nendoroids are a really good one because they are unlike Funko Pops, which I don't mean to be mean here, but Funko Pops are more of the mainstream. Well, they do cover just about everything. So even if they cover the geeky things, they also cover. I mean, I say Breaking Bad, but I'm pretty sure there's loads of Breaking Bad ones. But they'll do just about anything.
Pop culture as well.
Yeah, pop culture stuff. I mean, it's in the name. But Nendoroids are more geeky, unique to anime culture. So they they are more sought after for that kind of in crowd. So now, does Nendroid nicely do a really sensible and good thing and give you a tool on their website to be like, look, type in any number of an Nendroid and we will show you the box from all sides so you can easily tell a fake?
Ooh.
If not, they are shooting themselves in the foot, because that's what they should do.
So these images actually come from a bootleg catalog on the Nendroid website.
Well, the Nendroid website has a catalog to let you know about different ones that are out there.
Yes.
Very good.
Nice.
See, that's good.
So,
see, they're actively trying to fight against it in a very good way. Yep.
It does require people sending them the bootlegs so that they can actually do these images and stuff, these warnings. But yeah, they've got warnings like dating really far back, like so this one was 2017. It was a Naruto bootleg for both Naruto and Sasuke. We've got Iron Man from 2014. Yeah, there's like loads on here. A lot of them appear around 2012, which is where it seems to have had like the majority of the copyright stuff. And Loz was right earlier so basically Good Smile Company, who make Nendroids, they outsource a lot of the production of the models in China.
Surprise, surprise.
And it's the official molds that are used to produce the shittier models, but all the models are hand painted. So when you get a fake one, you'll find that the models are poorly painted and things like this.
That happens a lot on the other channel that I watch.
You know, or you get like weird, shoddy faces and haircuts and all sorts of weird and wonderful shit like this. I didn't mean to put that one up.
It is weird and wonderful shit, though.
Yeah.
So, like, on the one hand, I feel like these companies hold on to their copyright too long. We've talked about copyright before in another episode of Kanpai Cast, which you can go watch right now. But at the same time, they should have the protection of that copyright for at least a while to keep this sort of thing from happening. And obviously, like, it's hard to stop it from happening in China because they don't have the same copyright laws that other places do. Yeah.
Well, how long should they hold them on to? How long should they hold the copyright for?
See, that is a sticky problem.
Well, no, I think the cheap shitty plastic is the sticky problem.
Yes, that is true. That is true. It's a little easier to get to do with intellectual property that's done by one person, because then you can at least say when they die, that should be it. You know, that they're done profiting from their work.
Yeah.
But with something like this, it's a little harder. I don't know. I'm not sure of the answer on that one. But I know they should at least have it for like at least like 10 years or something. You know, I don't know.
No. Longer than that. I honestly think it should be in the region. I think it should be 70 years. But 60
70 years.
Okay with. Okay. Because it should run the life of the person who has created it.
Yeah.
They've created it, and it should be able to support them in whatever form it is until it's done. But then it's the problem is not in Japan for holding on to these things. It's America where the problem is about holding.
Oh yeah, because we're buying them all.
Yes, well, you're buying them all because you know at some point bloody Mickey Mouse is definitely going to slip with their fingers.
Yep.
They can't literally hold on to it forever. Especially the fact that I'm sorry to be the Disney thing. The thing that gets me about Disney is Disney used so much stuff from the what's the term?
The public domain. Yes.
Public domain to start off their stuff. Little Mermaid, Sleeping Beauty, Snow White. It's all public domain stuff. Yet they won't. When it comes time, it's like, right, now it's your turn to add and give back, so that other people may make stories. They don't.
Yep.
It would be incredible if other people could make stories about Mickey Mouse. Wasn't there like a horror movie that recently came out about Winnie the Pooh?
Yes.
Yeah.
No, you see, and that's why they'll be like, oh, but they'll just make stuff like that. It's like, it's not the point. It's down to them.
They'll make Bendy and the Ink Machine, but with Mickey Mouse. Okay, and...
Yeah. I hope they patch that day one when it comes out.
Right. I have one last question that I have prepared for this. So my last question is, how do you feel about the price gouging, not only in Japan, but abroad as well, when it comes to products of a certain brand, be it anime like JoJo's Bizarre Adventure or Nendoroid?
Especially when you know that it's being made stupid cheap in a sweatshop or something.
Right. So I've got some assets here that I want to show you, right? So this is a first version of Jotaro Kujo that was sold for, I think it was $70.
How big are we talking? How tall?
I don't know, but again, it doesn't particularly matter, right? Right. But here's the big thing. This is his face.
Okay,
right?
Alright, yeah, because, I mean...
$70!
The body's...
For that?
The body's really good, but... Wow.
What is wrong with his neck? It looks like someone's bloody, gotten some sort of iron and then just smashed it into his throat, because... What's with that weird indentation?
Also, that's the big, thick neck, tendons, ligaments, whatever it is.
Sure.
That were yeah.
Right. However, so this is £70, right? Sorry, $70. This is the second version of the same model released a couple of years later. Have a guess how much this is going.
120.
LOz?
150.
$180.
Jesus.
So, how does this make you guys feel when you have a brand as popular as JoJo's Bizarre Adventure? And granted, his face actually looks like Jotaro's face, being milked for so much. My 2B statue doesn't cost this much. And my 2B statue is... Oh, wait, no, she's there. Is fucking mint.
I mean, I never bought into this for clothes either. People go out and buy name brand clothes, and it's not usually... Sometimes the quality is better, but sometimes it's just like... Yeah, but you could buy the same thing for cheaper and be fine. You're just buying a name tag. It's so dumb.
But at the same time, if it's supply and demand, if somebody wants to buy this for that price, let them. You don't have to have it.
It's true.
They might want it. They might have the money to burn. Let them buy it.
But what if there are no other sources for it? What if you can't get any other Jotaro figurine anywhere else? This is the only one you can get. And you really want a Jotaro figure.
And save up. Get it third party. Get it on eBay. There's, what? Now you're saying that Jotaro figures should be provided to everyone in the great communist revolution of Jojo-stan.
Yes! So let it be written, so let it be done!
No.
God, this thing is horrific to look at.
That face is nightmare. It's so dopey.
$70 for this.
Yeah, it's just wrong. But no. So if people want to buy it, and that's what will show them if it's too much. If people don't buy it, it won't get made, or they will make it cheaper next time. But yeah, if people want that, they want that. Not hurting anyone.
Ugh. Turning the general IQ of the populace.
I think mixing that with FOMO, the fact that, oh no, we're only going to print this limited run of them, that will kind of...
But you have to buy it for this exorbitant price.
Yeah, that'll get people to do stupid things. that will, people will go, oh, if I don't buy it now, I'm not going to be able to buy it again in the future. I remember buying my Guyvers, and after I bought them, looking at eBay, they'd all tripled in price. So they went from 35-ish pounds to £100 each. And the Guyver Gigantics, instead of being £70, were £300 each.
Jeez.
Right? There's two of those. The only one I was missing for the longest time was Guyver Gigantic Dark. And I massively lucked out because I've got the why am I not showing the actual... Nope. Yeah, so Guyver Gigantic Dark, which is the one obscured by Guyver 2. Buying that for £300, like, I was a student at the time, I couldn't afford £300, right? If I was spending £300 on not rent, I was doing something wrong. So I waited and waited and waited, and I was on this Guyver forum, like, it was Japan Legends, and this guy from Italy turned around and said, I'm selling my Guyver Gigantic Dark. I immediately DM'd him saying, I want it, how much? Right? And he goes, 65 quid. I'm like, done. 2 minutes later, someone messaged him, was like, yeah, I'm interested. And the guy goes, I'm sorry, I've already sold it. It's been like less than a minute. It's like, I was so lucky to be on the forums at the time. But yeah, so I successfully managed to acquire that. It becomes so difficult to get this stuff if you want it for a reasonable price and you can't afford it at the time.
Well, it shouldn't be produced in infinite amount. They can't afford it. It's supply and demand. They can only produce so many of them. It's not the most popular thing.
If they stop producing them and they never plan to produce them again, should they release a 3D printing file?
No. It's a less of a problem now, because what we've got in this day and age is a very sensible system has arisen, which is people can pre-order. So the demand is normally made. The production is made of what people want it, so that can gauge the amount of people in the out there that want it. And of course, we're like, oh, but I might not know about it. Well, if you find 2 years later, oh yeah, the production run was 2 years ago, and I've only just gotten into this thing, it's like, well, too late. Sorry, we can't make things endlessly. As for 3D printing of things, see, that's a dubious point. That is a good point. That is going to become a big problem in the future when it'll only get easier and easier to scan and print things.
Yep. It's currently the hard part is making the 3D file itself. Yeah.
And so eventually we'll just get these little 3D scanners that'll just go like zip zip done in 2 seconds. When that happens, though, I don't know. You'll also, the other problem is AI. I mean, come on, there's only so many ways to pose a figure. It's even just like, right, here is the figure. Once you've designed the character, which can be scanned from a book even. And then it's like, right, well, pose it in the different poses and produce me a figure. If it's not a posable one, it's a fixed pose one. There's only so many ways to pose a human body. AI can learn that a lot easier than, making faces or something. Or...
Here's a bunch of Guyver comics. Design me a Guyver figurine and print it out.
Yeah. So that's how it is in the future. So in the future, we'll just be able to have whatever artwork you want. I do not know how the industry will fare when that happens. So we'll have to wait and see.
They'll have to come up with original ideas.
How?
No way. That's what... Sorry, I'm also just thinking, like, completely on tangent here, but the whole AI stuff had me thinking about holodeck technology. Like, in the early days, like, computer, set me up in...
The bomb.
The bomb. No.
Let's take it for great justice.
No, put me in, like... 1820s
Sherlock Holmes,
England, London, right? No, and then it, like, the computer's trying to randomly generate stuff, and it's just like, you've seen some of these AI generated art, like, no one has faces, they're always facing away from you and shit like this, and it's like, it's always raining.
All the lampposts are filled with coal.
not dying. So yeah, okay, fine. I think LOz has a valid point with the whole being able to pre-order stuff in advance. Like, as long as you know about it, and you're not always going to be able to have everything you want, right? And it's more important to learn, you can't have everything.
Yeah,
than expect.
That's definitely what a lot of this centers around is LOz. Like LOz said, consumerism. It plays into these parts of the human psyche that, for some reason, people seem to have forgotten how to control. Everyone wants everything, and they want it right now.
Yeah.
Yes.
And these companies just play into it. And whose fault is that really? Is that their fault? Yeah. Is that the parents' fault? Who failed the world? No, I'm sorry. That's a little dark. Who failed the the Nendroid industry?
No, I do think that at some point, like, there is this innate oh god, how do I say this? Desire
to gather.
Yeah, it's just this innate desire for stuff that I think we all just have. And I think it kind of comes from a sense of nurture that whenever we cry for something, we get what we want.
Yeah.
Right?
You gotta learn to control that.
And like I remember stories of my mum telling me. So when my mum would go to the hairdresser, she would take my sister, who was a toddler at the time. The first time she went to the hairdresser, she had fallen just outside the hairdresser and she was crying. She went into the hairdresser and they gave her biscuits.
Oh,
and, she stopped crying.
Oh no!
And every single time she went to the hairdressers with my mum, she would start crying just before she went in there, and they would always give her biscuits. And
positive reinforcement.
My mum turned to her at one point and was like, "Why do you keep crying whenever we go to the hairdresser? Do you not like it there?" It's like, "No, because they give me biscuits, but I do." And it's just like, smart little blighter. So, she knew how to play the game. So I do think that, the consumerism does play on this whole factor, So, but I also think that it's totally valid that this stuff shouldn't just cease to exist, right? There are some extremely high quality toys that were made when we were kids that, only the absolute collector who has them vacuum sealed in a vault deep underground will have maintained the perfect specimen. I do think that at some point it would be great that these companies that are making these models, granted 50 years down the line, however many years down the line, they release the files to produce your own. Well, not the original mold, but they produce files that can
replicate,
be used to 3D.
Yeah.
I think it's something with intellectual property. The problem with intellectual property stuff is it was made years ago. It doesn't appreciate what is intellectual property in this day and age and how important it is.
Yeah.
We really need to update these things and have some sensible sit downs like, well, how long should someone own for it? What should we do? Should there be a government or international
museum vault thing?
Yeah, museum system, so that things are preserved and then they are locked away, but they are safely locked away, and then they can be unvaulted at a set time and it is done.
Yeah.
I mean, like, for instance, I'm sure the American government has it as well. We have I think it's 50 years in the UK. Any government document after 50 years gets released to the public. It's not important then.
There are some that they still are like,
yes,
it's ongoing national security, and so
Yes, but even then, they have to release it at some point. It's very hard for them to keep something forever, and it is very hard to say that, let's say, for instance, some document in World War II has any relevance to today's world. It's like, no,
but it might. It might, though. Somebody could see something that we did there and go, oh, you did this thing? Well, now we're going to retaliate, even though it's, 100 years later.
No.
You say that.
No.
But yeah, no, it's like the video thing we've talked about before, that, these video games come out and then they just disappear forever,
Yes. Well, in this day and age, it never used to be. We can get the, Pong.
You can find copies of that E.T. that they thought was gone forever,
Yeah. Yep. You can find copies of the Atari 2600 ET. You can find Pong machines. You can find the Magnavox Odyssey, these ancient machines, which were the early video games. They exist, and they are still. Some people keep remaking them, and they've been able to take the code out of them and put it on the internet if you wanted to make a copy version. But we have issues with the modern age in which we have server-based stuff which just disappears. Does that apply to models so much? Maybe, maybe not. I mean, I think that what's going to happen eventually is that we're just going to have technology so good you can give something a picture and it'll just have a go at making a rough idea of what you think it is, and then it'll be like, well, okay, well, can you now do the side angle, and then you just do a little bit of adjustment of the leg goes here, the arm goes there, and then it can just copy it. Yeah. That's going to happen within our lifetime. It's ridiculous.
I mean, here's a bit of a question for you, because I do feel that as time goes on, these models and things, all the stuff we're talking about, just gets better and better and better. And I think the Warhammer 40k stuff, right, or just the Games Workshop production, they're getting better and better and better.
Yes, that's how they have to fight
detail
and
stuff.
They have to produce a better product,
right?
Which is how it should be.
But should you be able to make the older models through 3D printing?
If they're not producing them anymore. And again, I would say that should stick to the 70 years thing.
Yeah, because what if they decide to say, we want to release a retro set? It's 20 years down the road and people are really, really itching for that old Warhammer feel. Let's release a retro set.
They actually do that sort of stuff, yeah. Like, for instance, they made...
Do they?
Yes, they did recently they did a special, 25-year anniversary in resin or whatever of the first ever Space Marine model.
Oh, yeah.
As an example. They do that kind of stuff. So, yeah, and if you just went they aren't making this model because it was only made in lead 20-odd years ago and they're not making it now. So it doesn't even look like a Space Marine. It's really weird looking compared to what the Space Marine is today. But they did a thing of it. It's so, yeah.
No, but it's I think, that's still a valid point and everything. But if we're talking 70 years down the line.
70 years down the line, then yeah.
Yep, 100%. 100%.
70 years is more than enough. Maybe 60, but 70 definitely is where it should end. But then you can't fight it, Disney. You can't push it a few extra years, Disney. You can't get your lawyers to wrangle a little bit extra amount out of it, Disney.
And it has to be from the character's inception, not we made a new version where we slightly tweaked the ear size. Completely new release on the copyright, Now,
don't get me wrong. That with Mickey, for instance, they have done a complete overhaul of Mickey. Times.
Yeah,
Well, the modern
I'd say that Steamboat Willie and Mickey are two separate characters.
Yeah, definitely. Right, but I think Xeno's looking wrong. But one thing I want to say before we have focused very heavily on models at this time.
Yeah.
Is let's talk about other memorabilia that you can get. So just I doubt we'll go into much depth we've done for all of this, but let's just say, for instance, what other examples are
box sets of videos, DVDs and whatnot, where you get special. Books inside there that are here's some production material and that sort of thing.
Coins. I'm always found
coins. Yeah, coins.
Yeah, you tend to get T-shirts, key rings.
I really like watches.
Scrolls? How do we feel about wall scrolls?
Wall scrolls are fine. I used to have a few, but I don't. Yeah. I'd rather have a poster. But a framed poster.
I'd rather a framed poster. The problem with wall scrolls is that often the fabric is quite cheap and shitty, and
it's just silk screening.
Yeah, it doesn't do well. It doesn't survive wear and tear, and the print is not that detailed and things. I just go for a poster, get it framed.
Yep.
There you go. But models seem to do more. If anyone has not gone to either a model convention or an anime expo or Comic Con or anything like that, you'll find that models are in greater abundance than pictures, even though pictures are easy to produce. Why
you get a lot of clothing. You get a lot of clothing too.
You do get a lot of clothing. Well, I was going to come with clothing sack, but yeah.
I think a big part of it is that we respond better to the tactile sensation of holding something. Being able to hold this strangely shaped thing in our hands. Not only that, but you only have so much wall space for posters.
Yeah, it's true.
Okay, fine, you have a valid point. But I
think you're right too. Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
I do think we have this want to bond with it through tactile touch. It's just like, oh, this is what, I recognize this is Tekkaman Blade, and now I'm feeling Tekkaman Blade. I see.
So by actually having a physical object in the shape feels like you're owning the thing itself, whereas an image is more the concept of the thing still.
Yeah.
Even though this thing doesn't exist.
Even though this thing doesn't exist. Like, I also want to say, my preference is actually paying artists to do a rendition of said character.
So I was trying to poke you towards.
to make, do a specific character in their art style.
Same, you don't have any of these examples. Pause.
Okay, fine. Hold on. Right. You wanted it. I got it.
You asked for it. You demanded it.
So this is a poster I commissioned. Skirts, an artist on Twitter, to do of 2B.
Oh, that's really nice.
Yep. She's currently hanging up in my bedroom. She used to be sat next to my PC in the living room of my old place, but right now I have Ryoko to my right and Kerrigan to my left, all the same artist. And yeah, it looks phenomenal. And I very much like to pay artists to do characters like this in their own art style. It often costs a lot of money, but it's unique that way. So it makes it feel like it has more substance because it's not just mass produced.
Right, but do the artists you have chosen to make these images have the rights to the things they're doing pictures of?
That's the question. Is this not just black market?
Mm-hmm.
God, there is there is a thing about this.
Is it transformative is the question. Does it count as transformative when you're doing it in your own style? I guess is because you can also do parody. I'm not sure where this falls in the copyright schema.
Yeah.
So it's not transformative enough, but it's not something that they have gone out of their way to mass produce. Right? So even though they've done this one, they've had it printed out as a poster, and they've sent me the poster, they haven't actually gone, right, I have this poster for people to buy at like £10 a pop, right? They've they've done it once and that's it. Does that make sense?
Is that the cut-off? Like, you can do something once?
There is a cut-off depending on like how much labor there is.
Yeah, maybe you're paying them more for the labor than I don't know.
No, it is though, because it's like because obviously LOz and I are affiliated with Digital Extremes when it comes to Warframe stuff. Digital Extremes don't mind you selling merch of their intellectual property as long as it can't be mass fabricated, right? So things like t-shirts and stuff that you just send to a printing press to mass produce is a big no-no. But there was this artist on Twitter that was doing all these pin badges. LOz, we've had them up on 10 o'clock. They had no problem with that because each pin badge had to be done by hand. Right? So, because it's like, well, you can't just mass produce these. It's not something that you can just make a quick buck off of, unlike things like Redbubble, where people will steal people's art, shove it up onto Redbubble, and then just milk it for what it's worth. Or NFTs! Fucking NFTs. Are they dead yet? I hope they're dead.
Right-click save. I'm sure Trax Paddock in the comments will probably let us know. Is it Trax? It's one of them.
T-Rex.
One of them. Yeah, we'll let us know. Okay. Somebody let us know in the comments.
Okay.
How this fits in,
okay.
And if NFTs are dead.
But yeah. Okay, any other points? Any other questions?
Yeah, of course. I've always got more. So my next point is going to be, because I haven't mentioned Gundam yet, model kits or models.
Ooh, model kits.
Model kits. Yeah? Would you like to buy some?
So I do. Yeah, basically.
I think I agree.
I think there's a big thing to model kits because making it yourself, you have this feeling of accomplishment when you've made it yourself. You're like, yeah, I made this. I did this. I successfully did this. So yeah, I'd say model kits.
I think, yeah, because so my whole thing throughout a lot of this has been it needs to have a like an actual memory attached to it and not just be useless vain garbage. And yeah, the process of putting it together yourself builds a memory around it. So yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
LOz?
I can get by. See, I'd love to make model kits. I'd absolutely love it. But then the problem is at the end, I know I'd have a model which I have no use for. And I have no space to store, no space to display. And though I would like, it was really fun making that. I remember as a kid, I loved Lego because at the end of the day, you can always smash it and build it again. I would keep doing that until I lost pieces, and I'd just then find pieces to fit those gaps in, rather than keep something as a built product.
You could build it and then sell it on eBay.
Maybe.
That's what I was going to say.
Yeah, I might get to that point. But then you'd have to get good. I mean, I guess I could sell them cheaply at first until I got good at doing them, but yeah.
But I mean, could you just imagine though, it's like, this is a LOz custom built Gundam wing.
It's old for 3
This is my Gundam with a Zaku head, you see?
Every Gundam will have a Zaku head on it. That's how you know it's a LOz original custom.
Oh dear, no, error. Does not compute. Right, okay. Don't mind me on that one, yep.
Yes, you did. Right, okay. Any other questions, LOz?
No.
Right, then I think we shall move on with the rest of the show. And, yeah. Oh, dear God. Right. How on earth did you get that font in there?
I just copy and pasted it into the program, and it takes it. It's taking all of them.
Wow. Okay, fine. Fair enough then. Right, so it's time to move on.
Apparently, Adam's really robust.
Okay. Before we... Zrugal says, before we start with the supporter questions, I just want to say thank you all for listening to our podcast so far. There's also a watching component. We really appreciate all the likes and comments everyone
leaves.
Oh, it's an L. Leaves on these episodes.
How did you read okay.
No, I thought that said, I don't know, Heaver. Honestly, I got stuck.
That's
there.
fine. No,
but
fine.
yeah, this was written in the font runes. Ones you could read 2 weeks ago on 10 o'clock. Wanted to see if that was a fluke.
I mean,
no.
Considering you made it,
I could read that quite.
Yeah,
well.
you only tripped up on the one word. I was like, how is he? I can't even read. What is going on? Okay.
Rune seems to just compute with Xeno's brain somehow.
It does. Anyway, so Zrugel also says, off the top of your head, can you give any or a few examples of some anime where second season wasn't awful?
Kobayashi's Dragon Maid. Even though I'm not a huge fan of that, I still think the second season was. I mean, it's a fine anime. It's, you know, I don't hate it. It's good. It's
High School Double D.
I don't watch that one.
JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
Yeah.
I like to say Gundam Build Divers Re-Rise, which is the second season.
Oh,
of Divers. It's so good it makes the first season retroactively better.
Really trying.
Build Fighters as well.
I like Build Fighters rather than Try.
I like Try.
Try's alright, but it's a bit silly.
Is it wrong to pick up girls in a dungeon?
Yeah. Yep.
Poor One Punch Man.
We can only hope for season 3.
No Game No Life. Yeah, had a great second season.
Fuck off!
Wonderful second season.
Shut up, you. Right. Ghost Turkey Nasuth asks, when you taste something incredible, better than anything you've ever tasted, are you ever disappointed your clothes don't explode?
Constantly.
No, I am never disappointed my clothes don't explode, because I don't want to get arrested for public indecency.
I thought you were going to say because you live in the UK and you don't have good food.
No, actually, so there's an Italian restaurant in Cardiff. It's like one of the only redeeming qualities of Cardiff. And whenever I can make an excuse to go there, I will. And the food is just so good. They do panna cotta so goddamn well. It's just, they do an actual 10-layer lasagna.
My
as
God.
opposed to like a paltry 2 or 3. And it's, so well done. Yeah. Seriously, yeah. So, yeah. Anyway, what about you, LOz?
What?
When you taste something incredible, better than anything you've ever tasted before, are you ever disappointed your clothes don't explode?
You taste something incredible better than anything you've ever tasted before. You see, I sadly don't think I'm a good person fit for this because I don't think my sense tastes that great anymore.
Aww. Bad.
He's got a kick-ass memory, though.
Yeah.
Only for Gundams.
Right. Only for Gundams. Ghost Turkey Nasuth also asks, what did Guts call his brewing company? Beerzerk?
Yep.
That was awful.
I mean, I'm out of ones that were online, so I'm having to come up with my own, and varying degrees of success.
So I can tell that Thaylien's been watching Enola Holmes again. Enola Eno on something that has long been on my mind is the genius and depth of the world created by the famous author Terry Pratchett. This man went into the
practicality and absurdity of a world.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yep. Practicality and absurdity of a world powered by magic that existed on the back of 4 elephants that are standing on the back of a giant turtle that swims through space. But after years of watching anime, I'm convinced that the scenes he wrote would best be experienced by the energy and comedy style of anime. Which part of the Discworld would you most like to see? Travels of Rincewind the Wizard. Wait, I thought it was 1Z.
No.
I assume that. No. Okay.
Do not.
No, I don't.
That's
I don't remember that either.
Rincewind has its spell on his hat.
Okay, cool.
It is spelled with one Z, but not on Rincewind's hat.
But not for him.
Because he's Rincewind.
Okay. The cynical bickering of the witches, the life of Sam Vimes in the Watch, or maybe more holiday-themed stories of death and his adopted family, or all of the above.
I mean, how could you not say all of the above?
I'm particularly partial to all the stuff involving death.
Death is great.
I read The Color of Magic, and it kind of blew my brain.
What?
Really?
I don't know. I don't
think Death is in The Color of Magic.
No, I know
that's why he's saying he doesn't like it as much as Death.
I read The Color of Magic.
Oh, The Color of Magic is awful, and so is The Light Fantastic. Yeah. It's just they're not good entry points because I regularly reread them, read Discworld books, but I just don't want to read those. I can see it's setting up the world and everything, but he just hasn't hammered or streamlined his comedy and his feel of it.
He's trying to be more of a fantasy novel that's funny.
It's he hasn't broken down his flow of getting his mind into the character, so it just doesn't feel as clear. Like, you know, he for instance, he hits his stride when he starts doing Sam Vimes of the Watch. The City Watch line was never supposed to follow Sam Vimes. Only the first book was. It was supposed to follow Carrot, but he just finds Sam just so much more interesting character to work with. And so Carrot was the side character, and it focused on Vimes. You know, that's just an example of it. It's just so he just broke into flow better. Also, like the first few Witches books just don't have the same appeal of some of the later ones because they're just more. It's nicer. There's an edge to the earlier stuff that's just not as well rounded. But as for making it into anime, it's the tricky thing about Discworld. It does really well on the page when it needs that spark of imagination, and when you condense it into a fixed waveform of going, here is people acting, or a visual version of it, you lose that originality that your mind adds to it. I would say the best way of doing it would be not to do any of those ones. It would be best if it came up with its own character that was following that could interact lightly with the other stuff. It works so much better that way.
Someone new to Discworld.
Someone new to Discworld, or just a character traveling through and just reaching Sam Warpork. And it's like, and so they have some interactions with the Watch, but when it's like trying to redo one of the stories, they just don't work as well. I think one of the best ones that did a Discworld story, and I'm tempted to try and replay it again if it's impossible, was the Discworld Noir game. That made it's weird. They basically made a private eye character that you play as, but it's basically very Sam Vimes, and that's one of the annoying things that, looking back on it, is that the Sam Vimes is this sort of weirdly annoying character in the actual thing, even though the rest of the Watch are fine, but they just had to make Sam Vimes that. But then this character goes around Angmorpork and does links to so many of the stuff, but because you've got this unique character, you don't feel like at one point this character becomes a werewolf, and then he interacts with vampires, he interacts with some different churches, and you get some religious stuff, he interacts with a patrician and that stuff, and because it's got that freedom, it is able to explore it better. So I wouldn't focus on one of the existing lines, unless maybe the only one that I would say would be good to do is the Assassins, because they don't really get hammered out as much with set characters. So I would say Assassins would be good.
There you go. Right, and then I can't remember what the name was. What do you... No, I don't want to.
It's No One Alone backwards.
What do you get? I know, but anyway. What do you get if you fire a gun loaded with aniseed bullets? Licorice recoil. Okay.
You sure do. You sure do.
Right. So, let's move on to the comments. First, some comments from Kanpai News. Rugal says, is it just me, or are these getting earlier and earlier in the week? I hope they don't start competing with that 10 o'clock show I keep hearing good things about.
I don't know. They're not.
Well,
they're coming out on Tuesdays, I think.
Tuesdays.
Yeah.
Tuesdays at 8 p.m. UK time or 3 p.m. Eastern time. Yeah, so I don't think there's any plan on moving it again.
God, I don't think we could. I don't think we could do any earlier than that, really.
No, it's mostly because I'm rendering it out and everything, and yeah. Zrugal also says, gotta agree with your take on the Olympic scandal. I'm inclined to think that happens all over. I've heard business stories from New York, and they made it sound like everyone. So everything from pizza shops to governor's office has some sort of corruption or shady dealings somewhere.
Sounds about right. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Especially the pizza especially Showbiz Pizza. Yeah. Or no, is it
Showbiz Pizza?
Oh, that's right. It became Chuck E. Cheese by the end. Sorry, I keep forgetting that. Yeah.
Okay. All right. In regards to LOz lamenting lost live service games, Edward Paddock says video games are slowly becoming more like performance art.
That's kind of true, yeah.
And now on to last week's Kanpai Cast comments. Nick Evans says, if I had to pick between genetically altered or cybernetically altered, I would probably choose genetically altered. In some specific ways, I would choose to genetically enhance my longevity and my ability to create energy from food without storing that energy as fat. I want to live longer, stay younger longer, and eat the things I want without suffering the side effects. Everything else, meh.
So stop your telomeres from degrading and make it so that your body just passes out most of the stuff that you don't need.
I mean, when you're just a brain in a case inside of an artificial body that's powered by a nuclear battery, what more do you want?
It's true. Who needs food when you can just plug into a socket?
Yeah, exactly. Right, Zrugal has a very long one, so I've given Xeno the option to read the summary or all of it.
This is the summary, and this is all of it.
And going back to the summary,
it is honestly really good, and people should go read it in last week's Kanpai Cast.
Go.
What? You want to go to the long one?
No, you do the short, the long.
Okay,
fine.
Okay. Nope. Wouldn't go to space. I think biology is the next grand leap for humanity. Human physiology is one thing, but biotech has so many other applied fields. Making a mycelium-based plastic replacement could revolutionize waste management as we know it. My favorite meme was the Doom Guy Chainsaw Dog 2. Yeah.
Google says in full, nope, wouldn't go to space. Good episode, guys. I'll be back next week. Joking. So many people think space is the next frontier for others. Is it the depths of the ocean? For me, I think biology is the next grand leap for humanity. Imagine storing data in DNA. You could have hard drives the size of an amoeba. I think you guys are thinking too laterally about applied modified biology. Super strength would be neat, but a novelty at best. Only useful for manual labour. But giving humans amphibious gills could do a lot to solve the overpopulation problem, but it would also do a lot for the housing market. I'd say that half jokingly, don't worry. Infrared vision for reptiles or electrosensory perception from sharks could both be amazing and have near limitless applications. But those are just examples of things that we know that know. Examples of things we know that know. There are untold things that biology could do that we don't even know about. Also, human physiology is one thing, but biotech has so many other applied fields. Making a microbe to eat plastic sounds cool on paper, but could go horribly wrong. It really could. However, making a mycelium-based plastic replacement could revolutionize waste management as we know it. Surely that's slightly hyperbolic, I know, but it's also true. Gene therapy is one way to go. Gene therapy doesn't work. But also, applied epigenetics is more practical, cheaper, and more viable for our level of current technology. No, sorry. Epigenetics is a really amazing field that could go not only to a lot to help speed up our understanding of genetics, but help people. CRISPR is the way to go. I could and have rant for a while about biotechnology, but putting it might not be the best idea. I'll stop. I love the topic though. My favourite meme was the Doom Guy Chainsaw Dog 2. I can talk about epigenetics with. I'll find an avenue. I'm sure to talk about epigenetics and others. But I'm just like, yes and no, because yeah, you're right. It's important, but it's really fiddly.
Yeah. It's You think regular genetics and gene therapy is fiddly, but no, yeah.
Epi, I think the Latin of it is like above or over. So it's like controlling genes without editing genes. It's like turning genes on and off is basically
like there's some epigenetics that happens, a lot of epigenetics that happens naturally. It's just the ability to control that.
Well, yeah, it's the reason why your hair doesn't think it's heart tissue.
Yeah.
And yeah, there's some stuff to do. But for instance, the stuff as Nasuth was saying... I was talking to Nasuth. Sorry, I think the COVID is finally getting to me. My head is starting to go. Right, as Strugel was saying about cool things to do with the sight of animals. That's really good. That is an amazing one to bring up. Then also, just to put in that same vein, is like the smell of like a dog. Like, there's so many things we can't smell because we're not designed to smell very much, but we still have a nose that can still pick up things. And so, yeah, it'd be much easier to add that kind of thing in without causing problems. As you're right, I go to the example of super strength and the problems with it. But yeah. Having eyes, but then also having plug and play eyes would also be good, or having one eye that could see in other wavelengths. I mean, that would also just enable us to look at.
You can do that with your robot body too, though. You know.
Yeah, but a hybrid both would be better.
One thing I was thinking of was like, you know, the fact that I believe sharks continuously grow teeth.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know, I'd fucking love to just like, oh no, my teeth are all ruined. Pop. Hey! I mean, granted, I wouldn't be able to control it like that.
Just every 10 years or so, you get a new set of teeth, you know?
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's just like, oh yes, what's this? My amazing plug and play jaw. Yeah. Just gonna detach this jaw.
No, you don't even jaw. Just you grow the whatever. You know,
no, I'm talking the cybernetic side.
Oh, okay. But the teeth, the shark one, yeah, you could grow the teeth outside in a thing, get to a certain point, and then you just implant it in your gum line. Yes, you could take some drugs so it isn't painful. But yeah, like I mean, I'd much prefer going through the pain of like teething, you know, because obviously babies go through teething again.
Yeah.
But I would then could have fresh teeth. You know, it'd be brilliant. But what was I also gonna say? Oh, you distracted me with this thing about teeth. Oh my god, what was I gonna say?
Plug and play jaws.
Plug and play jaws.
Plug and play eyes. Then let's say about robots.
Smell dog smell.
Plug and play noses. I'm ruining it.
Hearing. Lots of cool stuff.
Oh, I had a really good thing to explain, and I forgot about it because Drew wanted to explain about how teeth came. Now I can think about echolocation. Oh, that was it. No,
hey.
No. Did you know? Apparently, correct me if I'm wrong on this. I'm pretty sure naked mole rats never suffer from cancer.
Wow. I think I've heard that. Yeah.
Whoa.
Really? I don't know if that has been absolutely confirmed, but I do remember seeing something about that. So,
and also, there's an immortal jellyfish.
Yes. So there are ways around things in our body because they've got different ways of proofreading genes and checking cells for anomalous growth and things. And it's like if we could copy that and adapt that to ourselves, we could do so much. Yeah.
Bioluminescent babies, you know.
Well, designer babies is the next thing. Yeah, definitely.
Oh yeah, of course. But
this isn't a science podcast. This is an anime podcast. I'm sure we could... Actually, to be honest, we could talk about that because in Seed Destiny, designer babies is what it's about. So that's quite an interesting thing. So we can talk about modifying humanity. There we go. Topical link back to anime. Let's move on to me.
Gundam especially.
Gundam is love. Gundam is life.
So because Xeno's sick, we're going to start with his memes this week. The poor baby.
Yay! So here we have JoJo reference.
Nice and subtle.
Not even life is free from JoJo references.
All is JoJo reference. Fellas, if your girl is hot, blonde, and powerful, then that's not your girl. It was I, Dio!
Beautiful.
Right. The third one. Fate franchise, Genshin Impact. Spicy top tier hentai. not knowing a lick of their lore.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, on point. On point.
Yes!
Supposedly. What the
So, Loz, would you care to explain?
Think about the characters, Nasuth.
He's not going to.
No.
He hasn't been watching it.
No,
You're not gonna watch
He doesn't
no.
understand.
I'm behind. I'm
He's
behind on
failing
everything.
us. So this is this a Zaku?
No. It's the trainer robots for the school they're in, and this is one person's custom one.
Yeah,
That's
it's
amazing.
She
Choo-choo.
has a custom one, and then people are saying, "Look, Choo Choo's mech has to have her hair. How she hides
yeah,
all
of
that in a
course.
helmet, we will never know."
Yep. Yep. Take, for example, death, war, the absurd amount of flashbacks in My Hero Academia. There are many things in this world that humanity would be happier without. Right? And then last but not least, and if there's a goblin nest nearby, we've got to take it out. Could she be one of my people?
Of course she is.
Yep.
She kills those goblins.
You'll be happy to know,
Kills those
Xeno, I don't
Yeah.
think any of ours overlap.
Good. But it's your problem, not mine. What?
It's the great Jahi.
Do you not know the All I Want for Christmas Is You meme? Mariah Carey meme?
No.
Oh, you poor innocent fool. Oh.
But from the sounds of it, that's a good thing.
No. No. It's a
Okay.
terrible, horrible thing that plagues us every year. It's like if Cthulhu came every year to, steal your sanity. And, now that Halloween's over, there's nothing standing between us and it.
I mean, if this was Padoru-chan, then I totally understand this. But
If this was Sprite Cranberry, I'd be appreciative about it.
No.
yeah.
Sprite Cranberry. Sprite Cranberry.
Anyway,
No Nut November, Non-Stop Nut November, Neighborhood Nut November, National Nut November, Nuke Nut November.
I am gonna suggest we quickly move on
sorry,
because I know what this is from.
Well, can I just suggest one more line, which I don't think Nasuth will get because Nasuth doesn't watch anything anymore. But just for if you're going up to Nuke, I'm just gonna add one more line, which I would best
Oh God!
I am Tamik. That's the next one below. That would have been better. Yep.
But that doesn't work.
And Nasuth won't even get that reference.
That's not
it
an
does.
N.
Oh, but it does.
It's not an N.
It would be the
Anyway.
ultimate nut.
Anyway,
It's not an N.
anyway, right.
Chainsword Man.
Chainsword Man.
Chainsword Man. Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
Fair.
The scene is showing five boys walking down a
yes.
set of railroad tracks.
Yeah.
The boys.
Boys.
The boys.
Me and the boys walking
Yeah.
down railroad tracks.
Other anime with English dubs. Can't you do something about your superiority complex? Ghost Stories English dubs, but I am superior.
I would like to add a third line of this of something smashing through the window behind him, and it would be the English dub of what was it, Drew?
Oh, it was a parody dub of.
No, that's the official BBC one.
They actually did an official BBC.
Yes, they
one?
only did about 2 or 3 episodes. Of what's
Oh
that?
my
What's that
God,
show that's
of,
airing again?
Is it Yurosai Yasa?
Oh yeah.
Is that? Yeah,
But the original one.
Oh,
the
really?
original one, that's it.
Oh,
The
really?
BBC, the British Broadcasting Corporation, did a English dub of like 4 episodes of that, and it is laden with Britishisms. It is amazing.
Right. Okay, we're gonna put that a link in the description below.
You
Okay.
better.
Right. And then your last one.
Oh, yes, that was 5, right.
Oh no! No! No!
Yep.
No!
Yep. Yep.
Oh my
Aren't you
God.
glad
Oh,
you saw
stop.
that on the news earlier? Now that you know,
Just
now
don't
you
put
know
it
it
near a
exists.
radiator. It's fine as long as you don't put it in the radiator. It's fine. Put it in the...
So,
No, hang on. Before you go, you have to say what's your favourite memes.
Oh,
my Goblin Slayer one.
Oh.
Okay. And that's it.
Nasuth also agrees. My Goblin
No, I think
Slayer.
it's this. I think it's this one, just because it's it's just so horrific.
You just know some people are like
it's just
sitting there, like they've got their glass bottle that just says for next September on it.
You see, like here I am, and I'm just hoping that there are some people in our audience that don't understand this. And I'm like, good.
Do not go look up.
Do not try to understand this.
No ponies behind.
You are blessed in your ignorance.
It's very true. It's very true.
You will only be lessened by understanding, not improved.
I mean,
the understanding will bring you nothing.
Why it's still on the screen, I don't know.
Because we were still talking about it, you know?
Shut up. Right, okay. Anyway, so that's it for this week's episode. Next week, we're going to be doing the 6-episode rule. The upshot of being ill is I've been able to catch up on my
I'm up to
Yep, and well, we're just going to have to go find something else to watch. And yes, that's it. Thank you very much for watching / listening. And now it's time to bottoms up and Kanpai!
Atomic, what?